time on Fox Can Fix It, either got a bad fuel pump or a dirty fuel tank, and hopefully we'll figure out which one is which. I'm hoping for fuel pump because it's mechanical and it's on the block. Okay, this is the mechanical fuel pump on this truck. It's got 2 bolts here go to the block, and it has usually a rod that comes off the camshaft and pushes down on the lever that's right there, and it basically just pushes the lever up and down, which lever is connected here to a diaphragm, moves the diaphragm in and out, and as it does that, diaphragm pulls fuel from the tank here and shoves it up here to the engine, or vice versa. Can't remember which one's which right now, but that's it. There's one in, one out, rubber diaphragm. I just had the engine running. I didn't see any changes in the rate of flow on this filter. It is still right where it was when it was running, right there with the little bit of air bubble in it. I don't think it's the pump. I think what I've got is a really, really filthy tank. So what I'm going to do, instead of trying to drop the tank, which is full conveniently, I'm going to look at taking the bed bolts off. If I can get those off, what we'll do is prop the bed up on the driver's side where the fuel tank is here. It means I'll just have to disconnect the neck from here, and then I should be able to get at the tank from the top, take the lock ring off, pull the sending unit out. Okay, so it appears Torxes for these, Torxes? Torx. Is it Torxes? I don't know. Okay, the Torx bits, we're going to go with Torx, or Torx bit, there's only one that fits in here, is a T55, and I did have that. It is not an impact socket, but we're going to impact it anyways and see what happens. So, I don't know how loud this is going to be, but here we go. Ooh. We may be in luck. This may actually work. If nothing else, this is just absolutely the greatest thing ever that these are coming loose. You gotta make sure you get all the dirt in your face. That's how you know it's cleaned out. This continues to be the least rusted Midwest truck I have ever owned. There's 3 more bolts on the other side. I'm gonna go get those, and then we'll start propping the bed up. Got those 3 out. 1, 2, 3. And as you can see, it's not completely free of the bed, so we should be able to pull the bed up. Let's see if we can do this with one person here. Oh yeah, that's not terrible at all. Okay, so instead of the traditional route of prop the bed up on one side, going with the non-traditional, yank it back a couple feet. Here is what we're looking at. I needed to get this ring off of here and pull this out of here. So I've got one electrical connection here. That's nothing. And one fuel line connection. So it's actually fairly simple. And then to get this lock ring off of here, I'll use a brass drift and a hammer. Don't use steel to get these off. You could cause sparks. It's a bad thing. We'll knock this that way to get it unlocked. I'm going to take the electrical connector off first. I don't know what I just touched, but it's soft. And there shouldn't be anything soft on top of this tank, so that feels really yucky. Make sure you use your air hose and blow that off before you open the tank up. The connector for this fuel, if you can see it, maybe you can, maybe you can't, but it's a simple, quick disconnect. And you don't want to break this. I mean, they're not really reusable, but they're reusable if you don't break them. Although I'm really good at breaking these. I majored in breaking these for a while. So, my skills are unparalleled at that. There we go. Alright, now today, I'm in luck. I did not break this. As you can see, it's just a little quick disconnect. You pull up on this. These little tangs wrap around the outside of this plastic connector, and there it goes. Now the fun thing is, it's a plastic hose. If I break this plastic hose, I'm already well aware Ford does not make this anymore. So I don't want to break this. The line looks okay. so I'm happy about that. And I'm going to put a rubber stopper in that. I don't need all the gas fumes or the possible leakage, so somebody out there remind me to take that back out before we try to put this back together, and we'll be all good. Now, tang right here, there's multiples, there's about 4 of them on this. And you're just going to take brass drift, remember, brass not steel. I'm bending tangs, which is not good. I doubt this has ever been off. The top of this being at an angle, the bottom of this lock ring is probably pretty much rusted onto the top of the tank. I don't want to have to mangle modify, but I might to get this out of here. So if you see me doing this right now, I don't want to do it this way, but it's kind of forcing me to. This is not a good idea for anyone watching. Probably circles and lines through it everywhere. I've got the ring moving now a little bit. Now it is bending, which is not what I want, but might be what I have to do, and then I'll straighten this ring out later or buy another one. Yeah, this will work. Not the preferred method. Please go back to using the brass drift and trying it that way if you can. This one disagreed. There we go. Rusted at the bottom. Yep. Okay, so ring is out. It's rusted. I didn't completely destroy it. I'll be able to clean this up and straighten it back out and reuse it. But not the ideal method. So now I'm hoping I've got enough room between the cab to get this out of here. Yes, yes, let go. I can smell the gas. Yes. Oh, baby. Okay. I don't know how clogged that is, but it looks pretty bad to me. Oh, yeah. Check this out. There's, yeah, that's clogged. There's just rust all over that, which means we need to get a good look inside this tank. Well, it's cloudy. That's probably not cool. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna take the strainer off of this, and what I'm gonna do is leave this just as an open tube, and then inline on the frame rail, I'll install this filter before the fuel pump. So this is gonna act as our tank strainer. This is gonna be easier for me to replace, and it's also gonna hold a lot more. So we're gonna go that route. The strainer's coming off, this is gonna go inline. Fuel pump is good. So what you gotta do is very carefully try to figure out your best route to get this off of here. There's a wire. You don't want to hurt this ground wire. Going to your sending unit, because my sending unit is working. However faintly, it is working. So I'm sort of going to maybe think about sort of using it as a slide hammer to knock that off. There we go. Oh, this is the inside of my fuel line. It's horrible. So let's carb spray this and see what happens. I mean, it's filling up my pickup tube. Not really cleaning itself out. That's going to require wire brush it. Now we're going to go wire brush route. Get inside here. Oh, watch this. Watch the end of this. Just brown chunks and rust everywhere. Not cool, man. But, you know, what do you expect? This thing sat for, allegedly, 20 years. So, making up for lost time. So another good use for zip ties. Zip ties bend around anything, so if you can get the zip tie up in here and twistify it as much as possible, basically drain snake it with a twist tie. That's what you're looking to do in this scenario. Brown mucky pond water. I wish I had longer zip ties. I don't have good, happy feelings about this whole thing. I know what you're thinking. Just go buy another sending unit. Well, if I got a new tank, I would, but I'm not doing a tank, at least not yet. Pretty clean, pretty high flow. One last trick is get a nice heavy gauge wire. This one's going to be long enough for me to see the end of it probably. Just trying to get maximum cleanage out of this and get the rust out of this line. I think that's pretty good. I think we got that. Now we're going to clean up the rest of this. I'm basically just descaling it. I don't care about the actual little bits of surface rust that are on it. I just want to descale it so that nothing else is falling into the tank. I'm not looking for perfect here. Instead of it looking like this, I've got it looking like this. This is better. And in the grand scheme of things, do I think it's going to make a bit of difference? No, but it's going to make me feel better. I think a tub of towels might be perfect for cleaning this float off. It's definitely coming off. Let's go put this back in, button everything up, and then we will put the Ford up in the air, and we'll find a place to put this secondary filter that we're going to put before the pump. I'm going to wipe off the top of this rim right where the ring and the O-ring fits because it's absolutely filthy. Faithful O-ring that somehow has survived. It's got a little bit of rust on that. That was the bottom, so we're going to put that at the top. Then this is going back in gently. Make sure you're not knocking the O-ring out of place. There we go. Like so. Get it underneath all the teeth. Get it around the O-ring dingy. And then I think I'll turn it so I've got good teeth to beat on next time. Grabbed all four. Okay. Gently though, that O-ring is not the greatest. Okay, that is back in place. Electrical connections, okay. That's back on. To put this back together, you actually want the clip on first, the arrow pointing backwards, and you put it all the way through like that. So both these little legs are sticking out the bottom down here. That way it's clipped on. Pull out our little vacuum line that we put in there. So everything's clean. And then it'll click back in place on the ring that's right here. There we go. You heard it pop. It's past there. That's not coming off. We're good. Now we got to work on putting this bed back on, and then we'll do the pre-filtery thingy. All right, bedtime. Okay, since I'm definitely probably going to have to take this bed back off in the future, I recommend some anti-seize on the bolt threads. Voila! She is clean. Okay, bed is on. This filler neck, I just have to put the 3 screws in. It's going to line back up just like that, so everything's perfect. The screws are back on. We're going to figure out where we're going to put that pre-filter. So fuel pump is right down here on the frame. That is it. I've got the light on it. This rubber hose is my inlet. This is where we're going to cut and put that pre-filter in. All right, cool. Here's our pre-filter we put on. I can feel it pulsing pretty good, which means I can feel that pump. And right now, we've got good flow. So if it ends up being a fuel pump, I've got the fuel pump on hand, but that's it for today. And as always, see you next time.